What's up, guys? Back here again with another quick video. I just want to introduce my new project. It's a new tank that I picked up. This is a 29-gallon tank. Picked it up at PetSmart. I did the dollar a gallon sale. I think after tax, I think the tank was like 32 bucks. I'd always wanted a tank this size. I thought it was, small enough to, to not really overwhelm me. At the same time, I thought it was definitely a good enough size to experiment with as far as, you know, scaping it, plants, hardscape, and even when the time comes, what kind of fish I can put in here. Let's see, where can I start? This was the home of the 16-gallon bow front. I have rehomed that tank. That tank is now in the bedroom. I may do a short update on that. I have taken down the top fin, the 10-gallon column tank, the top fin. Somebody help me out. The Intrigue, Excite, something like that. I forget. Hop back in the in my later videos to find out what the name of that tank is. I have been slowly but surely, doing away from the smaller tanks. Really enjoying the larger tanks. I have a project probably coming up, maybe in a couple months here, which you'll see probably the biggest tank I've kept so far. But enough about that. Let's kind of talk about this particular setup. As far as a stand, if you guys can see this, there's the older 10-gallon tank right there. I'm using the Imaginarium, this metal stand right here. I picked it up at Petco too for about 50 bucks. It's a really cool stand. Even if I wanted to, I could probably put like a 20-gallon tank down here. I may do that. I probably won't, but just some ideas there. Let's see. For the filtration, I'm using an internal filter. This is the Penplax Cascade 300, I believe, is the name of that one, or the 150, which I believe is for about a 30 to 50 gallon tank. I forget, 250, 300 gallons per hour. I've got an Aquarium 300 watt heater right there. The light, which, I'm really, really impressed with this light right here. This is an AquaNeat light. This is a 30-inch light that I picked up on Amazon. I could probably do, a whole review on that. Maybe compare it to one of the Fluval lights or the Night Crew lights that I've had before. But, so far so good. It's a really simplistic light. It has an on-off switch. There's no remote, but when I tell you I probably paid maybe $22 for that light. I definitely think it's a steal. Obviously, time will tell what kind of a light it'll hold up to be. As far as the scape. So a lot of the plants in here you see, I have rehomed. I took a lot of the plants out of that 10-gallon tank. The rocks you've seen before in other tanks I've had. This is that Sirius stone. I've had this rock for about a year and a half. I've had that in some smaller cube tanks. These two rocks right here, I used them in that four-gallon cube tank that I had on my dresser. This tank, it looks a little darker because I've had that. This was actually in the 10-gallon tank. This rock and that rock were in the 10-gallon tank. I've always really loved the look of these blue rocks. One of these days I'm going to figure out the name for it. Those serve a couple purposes. One as, a real kind of, color enhancer, or just kind of makes everything pop right there. and they're holding, the substrate, because you guys can see I sloped the substrate kind of in a triangle. The whole layout is its own little triangle layout. And then, the sand right here, this open area, and the idea is to have this side over here real bushy and full of plants, and to have this open area right here, to, give the fish, room to swim in and whatnot. As far as plants, I'm gonna try and do this as quickly as possible. Some new plants in here. I've got various amounts of crypts up here in the front. I've been in here. I've got a little bit of melt too, which is normal for crypts. I've got some Java fern in here. I've got a couple pieces of Anubias. This piece of wood right here also came from the 10-gallon column tank. I really like that piece of wood. I think it has a lot of character. I've got some Anacharis, the Elodia back here. Really hoping that really grows and fills in this top area up here. I found a plant at my local pet store called Creeping Charlie, which is that plant right there. I found some Lewigia. I think I've kept that plant before. It didn't do so well, but this particular plant, it had a decent root structure on it, and the substrate is really deep on this end, so hopefully I'll have some luck there. I've even got, you can't really see it, I've got some Cryptspiralis back there, so hopefully that will grow in and fill in that corner. So, I even threw in, which I think looks awesome, but this little purple plant right here is fake, and I'm not ashamed to admit it, but I think it looks totally awesome, so I'm okay with it. Judge me if you want to, but for some reason I grabbed it and I was like, I think this would do well in that tank, and it looks awesome, so I'm okay with that. And again, I got more crypts back here, so the idea is to kind of have this whole side of the tank really full with plants, and again have this open swimming area here. Let's see, what else can I talk about? The setup was relatively easy because all the materials I pretty much had already. And I would advise, anyone, if you're switching around tanks, maybe, hold on to a lot of the hardscape and things like that, because you'll be able to reuse it when you start getting bigger tanks. Or you start, you have a scape that seems to get boring, or maybe, unfortunately, things start to die off and you just know it needs a change. Definitely hold on to the hardscape, because you'll definitely be able to repurpose it and use it in future tanks. Let's see, last but not least, stocking. I don't really have a solid idea what I want to put in here. I know I've got some fish that are outgrowing tanks. I've got some angels in a 16-gallon tank I need to get out of there. Even those electric blue acaras, those, I do have a long-term plan for those, but maybe even getting them out of that tank, although they're in that 30-gallon tall, and I think they'll be okay for now. I've got a decent sized tank. I think the angels would look nice in here. I might do some smaller fish, some tetras or something like that. Any ideas, let me know. What you guys would think would look awesome in this tank. But I definitely want to put the angels in here and have them grow out. Just two. I wouldn't do any more than two. But yeah, any ideas or anything like that, let me know what you guys think. But that's about it. I just wanted to introduce this new setup of this 29-gallon tank. Let me know what you guys think. Any questions or comments, leave them down below. As always, talk to you guys down the road. Bye.